All right, welcome back to another Raw podcast episode where we go behind the scenes of how creators are implementing, how they're creating stuff, how they're doing things behind the scenes. And today's episode is not just a podcast, it's a deep dive conversation. It's a deep dive conversation into systems, psychology, and brand building. This conversation is going to be one of the individual who is quietly building one of the powerful brands on Twitter. It's sharp, it's practical, and zero fluff. So if you're a creator, solopreneur, or anyone who wants to grow their brand on Twitter, you should definitely watch this podcast till the end. Let's roll. Hi everyone, welcome to Munis AI Unfiltered, where raw conversations meet real execution. Today's guest is someone that I've been watching, shake up the creator space. His name is Kaizen, and no, that's not just a username. It's a philosophy, the one that stands for continuous improvement, minimalism with edge, and scaling without selling out. He has helped 8+ creators build brands that attracts, convert, and scale without becoming content slaves. And he does that by tapping into one of the most thing that most people ignore, which is clarity of voice. In this episode, we will go deep into how Kaizen writes words that convert without clickbait, and around why 90% of the creators sabotage their growth by choosing the wrong audience. And we will try to keep this conversation as raw and as real as possible so that it is much more valuable for you. So before we begin with anything, Kaizen, what's something about you that people get always wrong? Maybe it's the username, maybe it's it's you have just recently crossed 500 plus, around 450 plus followers, you have turned 17 also. What's something that people always gets wrong about you?
First of all, thanks for this kind introduction, my man. And the answer to your question will be my age, first of all, because of this beard. People just think that I'm around 25 or 26, but whenever I tell them my real age, that last year I was 16 and now I'm 17 and trying to grow a brand on X after being suspended. So they're just astonished that how I'm 17 and I don't look like 17. So this is the biggest thing that people think.
Oh, that's awesome. So, like, can you tell me a couple of things about yourself? You're 17, and you have done a lot of things, and you are going to do a lot of things. What's something about you that everyone should know moving forward in this podcast?
First thing, everyone should know that consistency is the key. Like I every time say this in my post, but I'll say here again, consistency is the key. Why am I saying this? I have failed n number of businesses before coming into ghostwriting. It was SMMA, it was copywriting, it was graphic designing, and it was even video editing. Every business I failed. Why? Because I didn't give enough time in studying that business or in pursuing that business. But before I entered into ghostwriting, I truly gave my 100 hours before coming into this field. And if you, I'll just give one suggestion. If you are coming in any niche or in any field, you just give your 100 hours before leaving that or before leaving that particular field. And after 100 hours, if it's not working, then feel free to leave that.
Awesome. When I see your writings, I've gone through a lot of your tweets that you've written and all the things, and you write like you have lived 3 lifetimes. Where does that depth come from? When I see that 17-year-old, writing about things, writing about experiencing, writing about you observe everything, whenever you go somewhere, you observe everything and you write according to that. So where does that depth come from?
That the answer is just behind my back. You can see those books. I just love reading books, and that was a it was 2021, January 2021, and my elder brother just gave me a slap and said that you are too much into binge watching and other type of shit. You just take this book. It was Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I read that book, took my habits in a way, and after that I started reading book, and reading book. And then you said I was having 3 lives, and I was going in depth of my post. So the credit will go to my elder brother.
And what are the top 3 books that you will recommend to everyone? Because you've mentioned about books, and I want to know, because I don't read a lot of books, honestly speaking. I mostly consume podcasts. I read very less books. In the starting of my journey, I've read a lot of books, but right now I don't really read a lot of books. So if you have to recommend top 3 books, that anyone should read, what are those top 3 books?
First of all will be The Secret that changed my life completely from a negative aspect to a positive aspect. And second will be Atomic Habits by James Clear. And the third book will be Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday.
That's awesome. Awesome. I have read Atomic Habits and I totally relate to, it has definitely helped me a lot to improve. So you have tweeted a lot, there are more than 8.2K tweets that you have, done till now. What's the darkest tweet that you have written, but it still hits, What's that according to you, if any?
That will be probably being grateful. I wrote a tweet day before yesterday or yesterday, I guess. I went to my friend's home and I just loved that decor of that home. And I was just thinking that I should like have this home. I'm like earning this much. I should have this home. But the next moment is she said me that you are happy, you are lucky that you are about to build a business and your parents support you. That really hit me hard.
Are you going to college or school or what?
I'm studying high school, class 12,
Okay.
and I'm about to ditch college and go all into ghostwriting and personal brand.
Awesome decision. Totally respect that because I have done it, 4 years back. So totally relate to that. That's great. Let's talk about the client stuff first of all. What did your life actually look like before your first client? How was your life?
Parents used to scold me, what are you doing in your phone? Stop using your phone much. Just go into study and all things. And whenever I land my first client, I said them it's a testimonial client. And the first question they ask, will he pay or not? No, he get testimonial client. And after that, 2 to 3 days after that incident, I said to my parents that, mummy and papa, that I had a first client and they paid me $50, which was around 4 to 5K in Indian rupees. And they were happy as hell. And they said they'd bring some sweets in home. Let's celebrate that moment. So, yeah, that was my particular life before that.
Awesome. Did anyone ever tell you that like you're too young to be taken seriously?
100%. My teachers, my friends, my colleagues, and even my loved ones. But there are some those who believed me, like my elder brother or my parents, or even my other close ones.
But you didn't like give a single fuck about them.
Sorry.
You didn't care about them. Like you didn't give a single fuck about them.
Yeah. I knew something that I'll do in future. They'll go in college, they'll study a particular course, but I knew I won't do it. I won't go to college. I want to build something, a 1% brand that won't people build. So yeah,
So what is the framework? Let's come to the tweets that you're tweeting, and through that I was able to reach out to you. What is what is the personal framework that you read to write those addicting tweets? Because honestly speaking, I know that you are definitely going to, blow up on Twitter. I definitely know that thing for sure, and I'm having a podcast with you just when you are not above, I think around 500 followers, so I know this thing that's going to happen. But what's the framework that you're using as of now that anyone can benefit and anyone can actually learn and do that for themselves?
first framework I used was follow for follow. And most people were like, why you are asking a follow and against a follow? Until one tweeter roasted me. They just literally took a screenshot of my chat and they posted in that tweet that this guy is asking me for follow. But after that, I grew that account from 800 followers to 850 followers. And suddenly in October 2024, I got suspended from X.
Okay.
I had nothing, just another account. I built that today. And the framework I'll say is your hooks and your headline are most important just because of your tweet. If you are posting a story, the main part of the story or the main suspense of the story should be in your headline. Because people will read the headline, then they'll click on that read more option to read the whole tweet and it will blow up.
Okay, so like when you start writing a tweet, like how does that process go? Let's say, something happened in your life. So what's the first thing that you look for in a tweet? You start with the hook or you start with the body? How does that work actually?
First of all, I write the whole incident in a diary. Then I go to the chat GPT and I say it to rephrase the whole story. And from there, I read it, the whole story, and then go to a headline and take a particular part as a headline. Then, according to that headline, I post the whole tweet and frame it again. Then I again go to chat GPT and rephrase it whole and go to Twitter to post it.
Okay, that's great. And do you have a checklist like before you post your content? Do you have a checklist before that?
Yes, yes, I do have a checklist. I have saved that in Notion and sometimes in Google Docs.
Awesome. Like, what makes that's a very genuine question because you have worked with more than 8+ clients, and why I want to touch your life. Honestly speaking, I just want to let the audience know. The reason why I want to do this, because uh, we we go out there on the internet, and people feel like very jealous when they see 16-year-old, 17-year-old, like doing stuff in their life. I want to get your story out in terms of that how things are working. How's your mindset, how you're actually implementing things. And from there, I want to ask this question, which is, what do you think? What makes founders trust a 17-year-old over an agency? What do you think? What is your perspective on that? Why are people able to trust you at this point of time?
All right, all right. I'll just answer this. But first of all, the jealousy part that you said, jealousy is totally, totally a biggest thing. People used to get jealous of me and they used to write cuss words or other type of things for me. And I honestly didn't give a fuck about that. And the second question will be that most people why they trust me over an agency because I have some real results. Also, agency has some real results, but I have some real results. I give them a trial. I'll charge not so more than an agency, but always a less than agency because I know how a budget can be, and I'll change their offer accordingly. I'll work for them. Even I'll over deliver. So yeah, I just mention is in my offer. And if they ask me the same question as you, I just put my offer here. Here's my offer. You can see what I do other than agency.
That's great. According to you, is there any tweet of yours that have made you the most money?
Okay. Okay. Good question. Short tweet or a long tweet?
Let's go for long one, then we'll go for short one too, because I want to know both.
All right. All right. All right. So short one will be, long one will be my personal story time that I wrote in my last account, and it gave me around 12 leads, and 5 of them are closed.
Oh, that's great. And how much money you are able to make with them?
Around I was charging a lot less, but if we count that, it was around $650.
For like all the 5 people.
Yes, yes. I was like noob there, so I was just charging a lot low.
Awesome. And what about the short tweet?
A short tweet, it goes like the only person that fears you is the older you, and it gave me like around 3 to 4 leads, and I closed all of them.
Awesome. Now I want to ask a follow-up question. I just don't want to stop this thing over on the street. And I want to ask that, like, are you ever manipulating your reader? Be honest about it. I want to know because here is a little context, because a lot of time what happens now, whenever I read a tweet now, so I get an idea. I get an idea whenever an individual is trying to manipulate, whoever it is, like maybe it's Andrew tweet, maybe it's whoever the individual over there on Twitter, I get the sense of it. So I just want you to be honest, because sometimes you have to do it, let's say maybe or sometimes we are selling something, maybe let's say we're promoting our service, whatever it is. So have you ever done it?
100%. Who would you not do that?
Kaizen exposed, thumbnail title. Okay. So,
I'm just scared about my ex audience.
and like, what was the context behind that? Like, what was the psychology behind that? I want to know that.
I read a book. It goes like The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson, and it like gave idea to manipulate your readers. I was searching about how to manipulate our readers, and after that, I came to the acquisition.com, the famous website by Alex Hormozy.
Yeah.
And there too, he was teaching cold DM, and there he said how to manipulate a reader by a cold DM script. And I included that stuck in my cold DM or a warm DM, and I just sent them and got a lead in.
Hmm. That's great. That's great. That's awesome. Now one more follow-up question. So let's say when we are manipulating someone, then it's about performance. We want to perform good through our tweets. We want to make money. That's awesome. But how do you balance this thing? Which is, how do you balance authenticity versus performance? How do you balance that thing? Because if all the time you're just manipulating your reader, they're gonna catch that out, But if all the time you're authentic, you will not be able to make money, or maybe you will not be able to scale things at that level. So how do you balance that out? What's your perspective on that?
Okay, so first of all, I go with this sequence: a long form tweet, a short form tweet that has some value, and a short form tweet that gathers me some engagement.
Okay.
In the long form tweet, in the middle part, I manipulate my readers. Not every time. Like if I'm posting 10 long forms in a week, in 4 to 5, I'll manipulate them. And in the short form tweet, I bring some authenticity that will have some real value that will help me get leads. And the last one, I'll have the manipulation and the authentic two mixed in that short form tweet that will get me engagement.
That's awesome. I think it's a good thing, it's a balance of both. So I think it's awesome, Have you ever tweeted something just to make someone feel inferior? Have you ever done it?
No, no, no.
Okay, okay. Now, I think let's come to this question, and I am curious about this. I don't know this. Maybe I've done not a lot of research. I still did a lot of research, but still, I want to know because I was not able to get from your tweets. What's the brand Kaizen actually about?
Kaizen is actually about a philosophy, a Japanese philosophy that goes like for a samurai. His name was Miyamoto Musashi. Before revealing my face, I was using his face as my Twitter profile pic, even in my older account, even in this account. And I revealed my face around at 250 followers. Before that, I was using Miyamoto Musashi's face. And I also read a book about Miyamoto Musashi, and it was of Kaizen philosophy. From that, I got the idea of Kaizen philosophy and wrote my name as a Kaizen. But before, it was like the story ghostwriter.
Understood. And was that a strategy to use the Kaizen name instead of yours at the starting, or it was just like you got influence and then you just kept that name?
Honestly, I'll say 30% of the influence I got influence, and the other percentage will be I don't worry. Just tell my real name.
Understood. And then why did you decide to change?
The story ghostwriter was just a big name, and most of the people said me that if you're a ghostwriter, just don't write a ghostwriter in their name. Many big creators like Dan Code, Dakota Robertson, they almost use their full name. And if I'm not using my full name, I can at least use a half name or a first name or a pet name that people get influenced from.
Okay, for people who don't know what ghostwriting is, can you just explain them in like super simple words?
Ghostwriting is something you write for your client. The voice is his and words are yours. You write for them. They'll tell you everything, and you just frame it in your mind and go to your doc or Notion where you want to go. Just frame it, frame some post, get the post verified from the client, and just write it and get some good engagements.
Do you think AI can replace ghostwriters? Like, for example, if I just give enough context to my chat GPT, which I have already done, because whenever he answers me, he is going to answer me based on the life, that I have lived, and the life I'm living, So do you think that AI can replace ghostwriters?
No, honestly, no. I'll tell you reason for that.
Yeah.
In November or December, I experimented this. I charged a low ticket client. I charged them $100 and use AI for their post. And I got a AI from my one of the friend who was an automation owner, and he made a AI named Bonten, and it was like it was made from Dan Post voicing, Dakota Robertson voicing, or other big creators voicing. And I just have to put the information there. It will generate me all the long forms with the folk and the headline. And I used it. I got verified from my client, but from 1 to 2 to 3 tweets, people used to understand that it was generated from AI. And from afterwards, I used my own voicing and again started doing the both.
What's your strategy moving forward? Like, you want to continue with name Kaizen, or you want to have your own name?
I'll have my own name once I hit 800 to 900 followers, because like I'll have designed a long form for that in my mind and in my document. And I'll just reveal my name there. And again, my whole story time, how I came from below zero from 900 followers again in my second account.
Understood. And like, are you active on other platforms too, or just on Twitter?
I'm active on Instagram. It goes like Kaizen.world. Here I just post the wisdom I learn, or the posts I post on Twitter just as a reel or a post. So like it's kind of time pass for me.
So when did you make you like first bucks in this online world? And what was the experience like?
I made my first bucks around March 2024. And after that, the experience was like awesome. I wasn't working in my phone anymore. I purchased a freaking tablet after that, and my parents were very happy. I took them out for dinner, and after that, I purchased many things like my earbuds or books or courses. So yeah, it was an amazing moment.
What's your perspective on life? Like you're 17, okay, and you've just like you've started like making money, or you're doing good things. You're growing, and what's your perspective on life? Like what exactly you want from life?
I want some discipline that I'll just have my from my own side. After that, I want peace in my life. If I'm sleeping and my agency or even my business is earning money from my side, or even the people working below me are just earning from my side, I want to spend time with my family. I want to spend time with my loved ones. I want to spend time with my friends and with my dog and even with myself, because that's what a real meaning of life is.
Understood. Like I just want to ask this one last question regarding your brand, which is how much of your brand is real and how much is actually like just a strategic persona?
I'll say 90% of my brand is real. I post the raw fluff stuff that I learned from myself, my life or the lessons. And the 10% is some outside of my life that I do but don't tell, and I'll tell it on Twitter.
Okay. Now here's one question that I want to ask, and here is the reason that I want to ask this question. I think around 3 days back or 2 days back, we didn't know each other. And I think right now it's been 30 minutes since we are on this call and we're talking to each other. And maybe after this, after 1 week, this podcast is going to be live, it's going to be on my YouTube channel, on Instagram Reels, and this, that. My question to you is that I reached out to you. I reached out to you, I broke the ice, I conveyed you, hey, this is something that I want to do. And here's one thing that I want to, like tell the people, which is that most people they don't approach, they don't like do the outreach. And most of the time, that's why they're not able to make money. That's why they are not able to close deals. This is the third season of my podcast. I've previously done 200 podcasts. And I'm very, I'm very raw and real, when it comes to approaching people, because what's the worst that can happen, if you would not have replied, if you would have said no, what's the worst that could have happened? So what's your take on that? What was your first impression when I messaged you, and what would you want to say to people who don't do the outreach and who just keep on making excuses that, hey, I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to do this, I'm not able to do this?
Okay, the first question will be whenever you first message me, I just woke up and just brushed my teeth and got myself tea. And after that, I just saw my phone and it was like a text message from Monis Razak. It was like, I want to invite you in a podcast. And I was like, 15 to 20 minutes as an audio chat, even if as a video call, it'll work. Because it's something like I always want to share my story to someone who listen clearly. So yeah, even if you wouldn't message me or it wasn't a big deal, like someone else would, because this chance and opportunity will come. And the second question answer will be that if someone is making excuses or not doing outreach, it's just their fault. Because if you aren't doing outreach, there's my other classmate. Like he's a close friend. He also joined ghostwriting by seeing me, and he was also good to ghostwriter until he just saw that 9 to 5 life is good. I want to give this exam, give this that exam, and he stopped doing ghostwriting, stopped posting on Twitter, and everything was ruined. I just say if no clients are coming, like if no clients are coming, still do the outreach. That's how you will get correct in your outreach. Some people will some people just correct your outreach or just correct your offer. That's how you just have 100% good offer and a good outreach, and someone will get more.
Exactly. And uh, like I want to know, this, which is what is something, because day in, day out, when I look back, 1 year back, 2 years back, 3 years back, 4 years back, 5 years back, 6 years back, 7 years back, 8 years back, 9 years back, when I look back, 1 year back, 2 years back, 3 years back, 4 years back, 5 years back, 6 years back, 7 years back, 8 years back, 9 years back, 10 years back, 11 years back, 12 years back, 13 years back, 14 years back, 15 years back, 16 years back, 17 years back, 18 years back, 19 years back, 20 years back, 21 years back, 22 years back, 23 years back, 24 years back, 25 years back, 26 years back, 27 years back, 28 years back, 29 years back, 30 years back, 31 years back, 32 years back, 33 years back, 34 years back, 35 years ba on my journey, the things that I have done, how I implemented things, how I maybe have done my previous podcast, the questions that I asked, the brands that I built, how I ran my social media marketing agency, everything around that. When I look back at it, there are so many things that I cringe at. कि यार, ये मैंने क्या करा था? What did I do? So what is that something, that you believe now, and right now you believe in that, but you think that your future self, might cringe at. Is there anything like that?
Most probably a gaming channel.
Have you created one?
No, I created one in I guess 2020 or the lockdown, and I was having a Samsung Galaxy A10 that was a 2 GB RAM phone. I was just playing games there, and I created a channel named by my real name. That was my UID. Here was my channel name. Both were the same, and I just posted one video that was I just landed there and got killed, and the video ended.
Bro, there is one thing that I believe in now, which is that people who have even made like a gaming channel or whatever channel in their life on the internet, those people are going to do much more better in their life compared to other people. You know why I believe in that thing? Because they had this ability and they had this thought process that, hey, I am doing this. Then I watched this creator. I'm also going to do this. I'm also going to become a gamer in the future. And I think that thought process can actually build up a lot in the future. And I think, you can see yourself right now. You are over here on Twitter, you are on the podcast, you are posting on Instagram, and you might have a YouTube channel in the coming few months. So I think that's the journey and that's the starting. So I believe those who are doing it will be making big things one day.
100%, 100%. That's what we say manifestation is. One thing you visualize that I was visualizing from last 1 to 2 weeks that people are going in a podcast, they're having a 3,000 followers, they are in 400 followers who will just invite me in a podcast. I was visualizing, writing in a diary and just seeing it in my meditation. And what happened? Yesterday you messaged me.
That's amazing, bro. How do you want to be remembered? I'm curious. How do you want to be remembered?
In life or in this particular platform?
In life, actually. In life overall. Because I think that's our life, We are content creators, we are doing things for our clients, we are running services business, some are running, product and everything around that. How do you want to be remembered?
Motherfucker who just broke the whole generation curse and made a fuck ton of money.
What's your goal? Do you want to become a billionaire?
Not a billionaire actually. Yeah, you can say I'm a multi-millionaire.
Multi-millionaire. And like, what do you when you say that, you visualize this, you manifest this, that hey, I want to become a billionaire, is there a strategy that comes to your mind, hey, this is how I'm gonna do it?
Yes, 100%.
Oh, that's awesome. We will keep that at there. Okay, what believe about creators that nobody wants to hear?
A negative one or a positive one?
Let's go for a negative one.
Most people will think that creators just message us for some salesy pitch, but I literally seen creators who are here to learn, or they just message people for learning that how did you do so, how a post went viral. But people just don't the DM, just don't open their DM request, just thinking that people are here for sales or anything. So I'll say if you're getting a genuine question or from a genuine creator, please open a DM request or and answer them.
Exactly. And here is one thing, which is, does not matter how many followers that I will gain, wherever I will reach, even at this point of time, I try to open all the DMs that I get, whether it is on WhatsApp, whether it is on Instagram, whether it is on Twitter, LinkedIn, does not matter, because you never know what opportunity you can get. What's the thing that you can get? That's what I believe in. It is like that. Whenever someone messages, if I have my phone open, then I will just reply to them immediately. I will not wait. कि हाँ ठीक है मैं एक घंटे बाद reply करूँगा. I will reply after 2 hours, 3 hours. I will just reply to them immediately. Because if I've seen the message, what's the point of not replying to them?
Like it goes like that's a lead or that's our upcoming friend. That's not a girl who will ghost.
Exactly. Maybe that's the thought process they'd have कि भाई अच्छा अगर कोई लड़की है तो चलो ठीक है उसको थोड़ा होल्ड पर रखते हैं, but that's not how things work over here. You have to be active, you have to approach, and it's like you never know, who can reply to your DMs, what opportunity you can get. One day you are over here in India, other day you can be in Miami, other day, you can be in Dubai. You never know, that's the opportunity, that's the thing that internet have. So let's say, let's just think this thing. Let's say if I message to Tristan Tate or Andy Tate, hey, I want to do the podcast with you. Let's say I just send a copy paste message to them, and let's say they reply, hey, come to Dubai. I'm giving you the number, talk to my manager, come to Dubai. You never know what can happen. It's like just putting yourself out there does most of the work for you. Awesome. What's your take on like this monetizing personal uh trauma, which is, you might have seen a lot of people, that they go through some things and then they start tweeting about it. They start tweeting about their trauma and they start monetizing it. What's your take on that?
Um, I really don't feel good if someone is sharing their personal life problem. Like if I met with an accident and I share to my ex family that, hey people, I got met with an accident and I'll be in a hospital for some days and I'll not tweet, have a nice day, you all. It is good. But if you met with an accident and you're good in your home and you're bragging that accident, you're just telling that, making it as a hope or a headline and using it as a story time again and again, again and again, and monetizing from that, it's not good. It's just shit. If you are a ghostwriter and doing that particular thing, as my point of view, I won't hire you.
Yeah, I totally believe the same, bro. I totally believe the same. I think a lot of creators do that, not just on Twitter, but on LinkedIn, on Instagram. Their entire personality is based on this fake persona that they have created, but in real life, they're not like that. And I think I wanted to ask this follow-up question. I think you believe in this, which is like I wanted to ask that should creators fake parts of their journey to grow faster? What's your take on that?
Yes, some creators does this. I'll say I don't reveal the name. Just he's my follower on X. He literally has 3.6 followers, and sometimes he said that I made $3,000 per month from the last 12 months. And the next tweet he says I made $2,000, and within the next moment he says I made 12K in 1 month. I was like, bro, why are you just flexing this?
I
Fake thing.
I want to talk about one thing from this. I believe a lot of creators who do YouTube automation, I believe 90% of the creators are just faking it by posting fake screenshots and fake tweets of, hey, my channel have made this, my channel have made this. What do you think about this? I believe they are faking it a lot.
Some people are just real in that take, but some are just fake and they just flex about that I did this, I did that,
Yeah.
just to gather more audience, and they won't deliver to them.
Exactly. I will just have this last question and then I will move on to this rapid fire and then we'll try to, wrap this podcast up. My one of the last question is, which is that someone who is just watching this podcast and I've made it till the very, very end. What's one piece of advice that you would give them to start making money on the internet?
Never ever give up if you are doing something. Always, always just give your 100 hours on that, and not 100 hours like you are giving 1 hour every day for 100 days. As soon as possible, give your 100 hours, read from everywhere in the internet about that particular thing, and never give up on that. And follow Monis for the same.
Thank you so much, man. Okay, let's just begin with the rapid fire. I want to do this, and you just have to answer this super fast. Let's start with the first one. Most overrated creator right now.
Uh, Twitter or Twitter.
Yes, on Twitter.
I'll say there's a guy named Ivo Ribeiro, that 3.5K followers guy.
Okay.
Um, and the other one will be I really don't remember the name. This will be Ivo Ribeiro and no one else.
Okay.
No other genuine.
Okay. DM that made you laugh out loud. Any DM.
DM that made me.
Laugh out loud.
DM that will. A girl messaged me. She wants to have a makeout with me. Just because I'm a creator on X and I earn money.
What the hell, bro? And one tweet that you wish you wrote, maybe you saw a tweet and then you wish that, oh, I know I should have wrote this tweet.
That will be probably my like raw journey that I didn't share it yet, but people are sharing.
Hmm.
So yeah.
What's your red flag as a client, I would say? What's your red flag as a client?
As a client or as a creator?
As a client. Like if someone, just wants to do the work that you're doing. Yeah. What's your red flag as a client?
Most probably taking too much follow-ups, because like taking too much follow-up will ruin the brand. And if the lead is, if the creator is replying too slow or too late or with just one word and not clarifying anything, I'll just probably leave their conversation.
Okay, totally works. Totally. I totally believe in that thing. One thing AI will never replace. What's that thing according to you?
Yeah, it will never replace bullshitting.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a good one. That's a good one. Really appreciate that. Now, I want to end this particular podcast with this one last question, which is, if you lost your account, your audience, and your network, what would you do in the next 30 days to get it all back twice as fast?
I'll probably learn about from most big creators in the market, and I'll just go to them and approach to them that I got suspended, as I did in my last post. And I'll just go to them and tell them that I got suspended, and after that, they'll just help me with their guides or other stuff, or even maybe buy my dropship.
Kaizen, if anyone wants to Kaizen, if anyone wants to connect with you, they want to have a conversation with you, they want to get your services, what are your services and what exactly you help people with? I want you to be
We help CEOs and founders or normal creators on X monetize themselves as soon as possible, build their offer fast, and just we negotiate for them, bring authority and authenticity at the same time in their account by writing long forms, no plug tweets, no question tweets.
awesome, bro. I will leave your handles below in the description. Anyone who wants to connect, they can reach out. Thank you so much, man.
Sure, man. Have a nice day, man.
Yo, if you're still listening, that means you felt the energy. Massive shout out to Kaizen, who took out his time and gave us our this valuable time. I thank you all for watching this podcast till the very, very end. Now, here's something that I want you to do. If you loved this conversation, that I want you to go out there on Twitter, on Instagram, tag us and let us know how was this conversation, what are the things that you learned from this particular podcast, and start implementing. Share this podcast with a friend who is building their personal brand. Hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, and if you're new over here, you should hit that notification bell. So I will see you in the next podcast. I'm gonna bring more creators and more entrepreneurs who have gone from unknown to actually undeniable. So be ready for that. I'm Moni Souza, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.